YouTube land. I hope right now I don't have 2 live streams running. Hello, my name is Susan. Welcome to Lip Like No More. A person who really appreciates this free platform so that I can come up and say what I have to say about whatever I want to talk about. But when I want to go live on a daily basis, and every time I do that, you, YouTube, have changed everything. Hi. I hope I don't have 2 live streams running simultaneously. That looks funky because I'm trying to block the sun. I was in a good mood before YouTube decided that they had changed the display on my screen. I have developed with YouTube what's called muscle memory. That means that my fingers are used to going boom, 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 and then boom. So when I'm going to go live and the boom, boom is in the bam, bam place, it's like, damn, we just got here. She's already raising hell. Hi. I see there's 5 of you out there and 3 of you like it. You going to chat or not? I'm trying to block the sun glare on the TV. And now I definitely need a cigarette. Hi, she ran calling wildfire. Hi, Carrie. Carrie, I came in hot. Carrie, do you know, do I have 2 live streams running now, like one that's on pause and then like this one? Stop, Kitty. I need a cigarette. I've already mowed this morning. It was hot. It's still hot. It's getting hotter. You don't know? Well, Carrie, I was setting it up, and it was like right at that place where it's like now or never land in the go live world of YouTube. And with that motor memory thing that I mentioned, I had not yet put the link in the description, nor had I even copied it onto my clipboard to Never a Truer Word. And the only thing that the gentleman asked, the creator, hi Patty, was that we drop the link in the description. And because I didn't yesterday, and then I did after the live, I was like, I'm not going to start this live without his link in the description. So I went to grab his link. And when I came back to YouTube, the live I had been setting up and was all ready to go, except for dropping the link in the description, was gone. So I don't know if it's floating around out there or what. But y'all, I got out here and finished up the mowing. There wasn't that much, but I got out here and finished it up like right after I walked rags the first time, which is at 6:30 in the morning. I wanted to at least be thoughtful enough to my neighbors that, how you babies doing today? We are going to be continuing, if you saw the title, or even if you didn't see the title, we're still going to be continuing with this will be part 3 of my commentary and you kids taking opportunity to have discussion in the live chat on your thoughts regarding what Never a Truer Word in his statement analysis is bringing out to us in regards to the disappearance of Summer Moon Utah Wells, who disappeared on the 15th of June of 2021, reportedly from her home at 110 Ben Hill Road in the Beach Creek community near Rogersville, Tennessee. The analysis is of the parents of Summer Moon Utah Wells, the father's name, and babies. I know, hi, tears ran dry. Keeping in mind always the reason, there are reasons I repeat this stuff. I know you've heard it over and over again. But until Summer Moon Utah Wells is rescued or recovered on this channel, you're going to keep hearing it. It's reported that Summer Moon Utah Wells disappeared in the early afternoon hours. Hi, Carolina Lynn. On June the 15th of 2021. She has blonde hair and blue eyes. She was 5 at the time of her disappearance, and her birth date is February the 4th, 2016. That means if Summer is still alive, she's now 8 years old. If you go on the web to TBI Newsroom and go to Summer Wells' page, there you will find all of the factual information, or in some cases relatively speculative, but TBI has taken into consideration the statements of certain people and chosen to include them in the frequently asked questions section. But the vital statistics and the facts are on Summer's Amber Alert, which is and will remain active until she's recovered or rescued. In early reports, either misinformation or disinformation was provided to law enforcement by whoever was talking to law enforcement about what Summer Moon Utah Wells was wearing when she disappeared. One would think that because Summer Wells was in the care and custody of her mother, Candus Bly Wells, as well as her maternal grandmother, Candace Harrer, that one of those two bitches would have remembered what Summer actually had on the last time they saw her. However, their inability to give an accurate report of Summer's attire the last time they saw her resulted in early reports with variations of what Summer Moon Utah Wells was wearing when she disappeared. Thank you, bitches. In early reports, it was also reported that Summer was 4 years old. Really? Her own mother doesn't know her age. How interesting. Or could it be that the dispatchers at the Hawkins County, Tennessee Sheriff's Office are just fucking inept? Who knows? Because the breakdown in the communications and appropriate exchange of information regarding a 5-year-old missing girl named Summer Moon Utah Wells was fucked from the moment she disappeared by everyone, including law enforcement and including the Churchill Rescue Squad. But it began, in my opinion, all of the confusion before Summer ever disappeared. Because in my opinion, it's all a script. I don't know what happened to Summer Moon Utah Wells on the 15th of June of 2021. I am not an investigator. I am not law enforcement. But I am, by God, a real investigative journalist, not one who comes up on YouTube and just fucking says they are. So, in that capacity, in that role, I have no hope nor intention of finding Summer Wells nor solving her case. But I will continue to point out the bullshit that began the day the plan was set in motion, whatever fucking day that was, whatever the plan may have been, whoever may have been involved. So at this point, allow me to interject. This is an open investigation in the United States of America, and in this country, we are considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. No charges have been filed, no arrests have been made, and no suspects have been named in the mysterious disappearance of Summer Moon Utah Wells. So let's keep that in mind while we're wondering why. My name is Susan. Welcome to Live Block No More. Sometimes I am chill and laid back, and sometimes I'm so intense you want to turn it off. I don't blame you. But when it comes to Summer Moon Utah Wells, the chat room here is open to all opinions as long as they are stated respectfully. You are not allowed to attack, drag, insult, or be negative in any way to anyone else in the chat room. If you are, you will be blocked or timed out depending on the moderator's discretion. They know my line. And don't ever forget, you don't have the right to chat. It's a privilege. Some of you need to learn the difference. The thing is that I would prefer that if you have an opposing opinion to myself, that you state it in a fashion that doesn't get you blocked or timed out. You might have something to say that I would want to hear or read. So, if you're new, that's for you. Everybody else already knows it. I am kind, but I am a raging bitch when it comes to Summer Moon Utah Wells. So please feel free to chat at your leisure. Welcome to all that are new. Thank you to the members for your continued support of the channel. We've been monetized, I think, for about a week. And thank you to everyone who is either chatting or watching. Because as long as you continue to maintain an interest in the whereabouts as well as the circumstances leading up to the disappearance of Summer Moon Utah Wells, the discussion will continue, and that is why I am here. To keep the conversation going, even if we say things we have said 1,000,000 times already. For Summer's Army, we don't fucking give up. Those who have fallen by the wayside along the way, there have been many casualties in this fight for Summer. Some came with good intentions but didn't have the tenacity to withstand the slings and arrows of this fucking platform. Others came with bad intentions and fell by the wayside, slayed by those of us who wouldn't put up with their bullshit. Others don't have the courage to speak of her anymore. Others aren't making enough money if they do. On this channel, we don't care about any of that. On this channel, we care about Summer Moon Utah Wells. And if you are a soldier in her army, you are welcome in this chat, regardless of any differences we may have or have had. But you will respect her. You'll respect Summer when you're in this chat. Carrie, baby, I hope you are feeling better today. Thank you so much for being here. If you're nauseous, Carrie, or anybody else, we're fixing to move. We're going inside. Hi, Mama Bear 2222. Hi, Sonia. I'm glad you made it today, honey. Hi, Darlene. So good to see you, Darlene. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Darlene J. Clark. You're feeling better, Carrie? I'm glad. Y'all, Carrie's had it pretty rough the last little while. She's had strep throat. She ain't been feeling good at all. But she loves summer so much. Here she is. Did John McKinney get the lawn mowed? I got to get y'all situated, so hang on. It's going to take a second to get you canoidered here, and I need a beverage. Now, I realize that I look like all red and everything, babies. It's because I've put this blanket to try to help reduce the glare. Hi, Michael. On, hi, Vonderloo, on the TV screen. So, and I thought if I didn't turn on any lights, that it would help. So, hi, Sherry. So, my color is off. I'm not like sunburned or anything. Okay. It's just the lighting. So, all right. Let me grab a drink. And because Carrie has been a little bit nauseous and she's looking at the chat, I don't want to move her around. So I'm going to break with my tradition. I'm not going to carry you. I'm just going to go grab my soda. I'll be right back. Your live chat from yesterday finally uploaded this morning. I need to find a better place. Babies, if I continue to, it's not often. Okay, let me, it isn't often on this channel that I share content from other channels. Usually it's just me jacking my jaws. Okay. So I'm kind of having to rig things up to make it better for you. When I watched this morning the replay from yesterday, although I couldn't see the glare on the screen here in my living room, you guys could. So I'm trying. Hi, Candy. So you love my, honey, this is my wedding shirt. It's silk. And guys, we're really loose around here. And I know there's some people that are probably going, is she ever going to get to the content? Yeah. But this is a warm, friendly place. And I like to interact with the people. And so I want to show you right quick. Can you? These are our wedding pictures. And as you can see, Bob and I lived together for 11 years before we got married. I'd been married 3 times before, and he'd been married once before, and we wanted to be sure. So it took me 11 years to make up my mind. But we've been together 25 years. So watch out, kitties. Anyway, so yeah, it's my wedding shirt. Thank you. Hi, Make Me Laugh Too. Anyway, guys, what I was saying about getting to the content. Yeah, we get to it. But I'm what is, I get that fucking, sorry. the lighting. I'm what's referred to as a love bomber, and I'm very proud of that. And anyone that isn't comfortable with that, you likely won't be comfortable here. You're welcome here, but you may not be comfortable. I'm a very loving person, and I'm very comfortable expressing that, and so is most of the chat. So you'll see lots of hearts and flowers over here, and I like to take time when I can, and today I can, to say hi, y'all. Thanks for being here. Hi, Kip Branch, and hi, Poppy Red Mustang. John McKinney, did you get the lawn mowed? You say potato, I say potato. You say tomato, and I say tomato. Potato, potato, tomato, tomato. Whoops. Hang on. Let's call the whole thing off. Okay, here we go. We're going to begin at the beginning and then skip to 14 minutes and 14 seconds, which is where we left off yesterday. I'll need you guys to let me know about the volume. But I want to play the intro that the creator gives so that we remember what it is we're looking for. Okay? So let's hit play and listen to his introduction.
Welcome to Never a Truer Word, where we look at the words that people choose to use to see if they're telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and give you some tips to better understand what it is that people are saying in the world
Hi, GC.
all around you. And we're going to look at the Summer Wells case this episode. As I record this in June 2024, it's 3 years to the day the Summer Wells went missing from her Tennessee home, and we're going to look at the words of her parents, Dawn and Candus, in an interview that was given about 2 weeks after she went missing. My thinking behind that is that the more recent it is, the less time there is to polish any story that is being told, the more recent and raw events are, then the more that we can get from the statements that they use. So what do we want to watch out for when we're talking?
Okay, let's pause. Now, babies have worked this morning trying to figure out how to get that display off of there when I pause, and I can't figure out how to make it go away. I'm sorry. And Carrie, thank you for dropping the link for Never a Truer Word. Now, here is what this creator in statement analysis is looking at, and is asking us to look at as well. Tenses. Are they shifting from present to past tense? Where is it appropriate that they have done so? Where may it be inappropriate that they have done so? We're also listening for and looking for hidden time events. In other words, when Dawn and Candus talk to us about what happened, what's missing, where are the holes, what did they leave out, what had they glossed over, and their level of concern as the parents of a missing 5-year-old child 13 days after her reported disappearance. How concerned are they for Summer Moon Utah Wells in particular?
about missing people and people talking about missing people to see if there's any deception, to see if they know more about this missing person case than they're letting on. Look at the tenses they use. I say this all the time in missing people.
Hi,
Are they
Candy.
referring to the missing
Hi,
person
I'm that
in the
bitch,
present
Mama
tense
Bear.
because they think that person is still alive and out there somewhere? Or have they gone a bit more to the past tense, which might infer they think that that person is gone forever? That doesn't necessarily mean they're guilty. Use past tense, but it shows
Hi,
their
Angie's
state
Life.
of mind along towards the person that is missing. In storytelling, look for hidden time or events, jumps in time, or things that don't quite make sense. Are they telling a full and frank story, or are they glossing over or jumping over some events that happened? And what concern do they show? Because if you're missing someone that's very close to you, your concern is going to be for that person.
Hi,
if
Kit.
you're guilty or have some guilty knowledge about that missing person, your concern might well be more towards yourself at that moment. So let's listen to Dawn and to Candice speak.
I know.
Okay, now that is the intro. Let me advance. I did practice. May not be the most efficient way. Whoa, I went too far. But I did practice a little bit, so it wasn't quite as hokey. And yesterday we stopped at 14 minutes and 14 seconds. So I'm going to, hi, Nada Drama Nana. Thank you for being here, love. I'm going to hit play at 14 minutes and 9 seconds. So we've got a few seconds. Well, let me back it up just a few more so that we've got a little bit of lead in. Okay. So we're going to start at 12 minutes, 59 seconds. And then we're going to play through to wherever I feel like I want to hit pause. Once again, in case Never a Truer Word, the creator is watching, or any of his members or subscribers or viewers, thank you so much. I and my viewers truly appreciate how gracious you have been in allowing us to use your research, your expertise, and your copyrighted material for purposes of our discussion here. Thank you so much. Never a truer word. Oh, gonna get a commercial. Sorry.
You can count upon.
Okay. Let me.
Somewhere walked away, got lost, even, fell, met an accident or anything like that.
Oh, babies, I didn't ask you. How is the volume? Can you guys hear okay? Can you hear him? And I see there's still glare on my TV screen. Okay, before we do this the next time, it's better than it was yesterday. It's good? Okay, babies, thank you. Turn up a bit, please, for Vonderloo. Yes, honey, of course I will. Okay, babies, anybody that on your end, thank you, Tears Ran Dry, for subbing up to Never a Truer Word. Hi, Deb. I'm going to turn it up for Vonderloo and others that may need more volume. If it's too loud on your end, please turn your volume down, okay? Let's see if we can find a happy medium here for our hokey pokey way of doing things. Okay, all right. See what happens here.
Was abducted and something really bad happened to her. She seems quite convinced here that someone has my daughter, and she addresses that person, whoever has my daughter. Then Dalton chimes in for the first time. He says something that's a bit unclear, but he wants the FBI and the police and clear it up. Not find your daughter, Don, no. Not find Summer, who is missing, a 5-year-old girl. You just want things cleared up. That's really interesting. And that makes me look at you and go, why are you wanting something cleared up? And why are you talking about something being kind of elusive? Why is it not that you want your daughter back? Why is it not you want your daughter safe? Why do you want things cleared up? Why do you think it's elusive? Then we talk about this red truck. Candus says it's really strange that I've never seen this truck and I've never heard of it until just recently. Why is that strange when you've just told us you never go for walks or runs? So this truck could be all around, but you do not go out, in your own words, Candus. So why would you think you would have seen or heard of this red truck until just recently? And I wish they could come forward and explain themselves. Why do you think they won't? Why do you wish they would? Why would you not like them to? And why do you want them to explain themselves, not clear this up? Like Dawn said, why again? It's just not about finding Summer, but this is about clearing things up, things being elusive, and someone explaining themselves. She says, I mean,
Now we are where we left off yesterday. So we actually are beginning today with this gentleman's question. Kitty, guys, I'm sorry, we'll have cat interruptions as well. Never a Truer Word asks, why is this not about finding Summer? Why is this about clearing this up? Mostly questions seeking answers. Okay, so here we go.
If you're not a suspect, at least come forward and say what you've seen. How does she know the person in the red truck has seen anything? But she seems quite definite that this person in the red truck should say what you've seen. We're only at the beginning, but so far I've got so many questions about the words that they're using, about the descriptions that they're using.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do you hear him, babies? We're only at the beginning, but he has so many questions about the words they are using. And those of you who are here for part 1 and on Sunday and then yesterday, part 2 of our discussion of the statement analysis provided to us by Never a Truer Word. Why? And I'm paraphrasing his words, but the key words I'm using. Why does Candus Bly have no authentic words to express what was going on in her head when Summer disappeared? I mean, if you're not a suspect, at least come forward and say what you've seen. Okay, well, I mean, if you're not a suspect, at least come. Okay, she's talking to the person in the odd phenomenon and the mystery of the disappearance of Summer Wells, known as the fucking red truck. You guys know what I think about the fucking red truck. If you don't, I told you in yesterday's live stream. And I'm not going to waste anybody's time by repeating it today. However, I mean, if you're not a suspect, at least come forward and say what you've seen. We also talked yesterday about in the inclusive conjunction and. Say what you've seen. Let's go.
Using where their priorities are at and why they think certain things are quite conclusive here. If you're enjoying this, then please press the like button. It does help get this to more people. There is no marketing budget for Never a Truer Word, so every like returns some of the investment and lets this get out to more people. Sharing it as well with people who are interested in the Summer Wells story or missing persons in general is really, really helpful in getting the word out there as well. I'm always interested in your comments on the words that Dawn and Candus are using in this interview. So anything that you have to say, I'd be very interested in listening to. So if you can leave comments on this platform, please do, or get in touch on social media. All the links are in the show notes. And if you want to get more, if you want to get early access and bonus episodes, then on YouTube, become a member of the channel.
Hey, Val.
On Spotify, you can press the subscribe button and you will get a whole load of
Hi, Canadian
bonus
Cookie.
features. Let's go back.
Okay. I know most people would have skipped over that on this platform. Hi, Biscuits and Gravy. Why would I do that? Why would I skip over this gentleman's opportunity to promote his channel when he's allowing us to use his copyrighted material free of charge, without threat of a strike? So I will not apologize to anyone in the audience that goes, well, why didn't she skip over that? It has nothing to do with summer. It has everything to do with the gentleman's channel. So please do consider subscribing. And more importantly, I wanted you to hear what he had to say about your comments. Those of you watching me right now, who may not have watched him. He wants to hear what you have to say about the words that Dawn and Candus are using. This gentleman had never heard of me, I would assume. I left a comment in his comments section under this video, asking his permission to use it, and within less than an hour, he had replied. That tells me he checks his comment section. I also don't want to take any undue credit, but I can tell you that the day that I first gave my subscribers the bird's eye lowdown on the caper of this channel, Never a Truer Word. Thank you, In the Dark, for your $5 super sticker, darling. Thank you. I can tell you that the first day we watched this gentleman, he had the same number of subscribers, almost down to the individual. 24 hours later, he had 400 more subscribers than he did the day before. I'd like to thank every single one of you who contributed to that number to help him grow. And no, I do not know him. I have had contact with him one time. The receipt is in his comment section underneath the video we are watching.
To Dawn and Candus.
She was a tomboy. I shaved my head. She wanted to have her head shaved like me and the boys did.
She tried to shave her head.
She tried
in
to
the
shave her
back
head
and make
herself.
it. I think you can see it in some of the pictures, and it was getting out of control. So we decided to shave her head off and let it go back long, and she shaved her head so she wouldn't feel bad.
Spit it out, Dawn.
But it didn't bother her.
Jeez.
Well, once more, I'd like to know why they're talking about this. What question got them to this point? But why are they talking about this? Not.
And I do want to point out for anyone who is new or has not been with us for the previous 2 live streams in this regard. I'm in full agreement with this gentleman. And I wish that mainstream media would formulate a different approach, because we so often have to assume what the question is. It is so challenging. Text is so challenging when someone is answering something and you don't know what the fuck they were asked. But we do our best. Hi, Grace Paris. We do our best to try to figure it out, but I'm like him. Now, we here, now when I'm addressing you, I like to flip the lens. So let me flip this back around. And I do this in an attempt to help clarify. And sometimes I don't have the answers. And there may be one of you who does. Yes, not a drama. Not a drama, Nana. Yes, you may. Of course you may. The majority of us have seen the video footage that was shot at the SDA place of business, where for some odd reason the camera seems to pan and track the movements of Summer Moon Utah Wells. That, in and of itself, is a completely separate rabbit hole. However, thanks to that footage, we've seen Summer with up the bat, like maybe she had a shaver, and up the back. When I was 4 years old, I got a pair of scissors, and hi, Carrie Hall. I was a towhead, and my hair, believe it or not, was curly Q without rollers. But I had had the trauma of my father's death 6 months before. Actually, a year and a half before. Had to really rewind the clock because I'm talking the 1950s, early 1950s. Somewhere in a time frame there. But my daddy died when I was 3.5, and I can guarantee you it was before I was 5. Okay, so in that window of time. There was something else that occurred, but now looking back, I know. Now at the time, I was just trimming my bangs. But by the time it was all said and done, and it was quite upsetting to my mother, my sister, and my 2 brothers. When my hair grew back, it was straight as a string and has been ever since. So yeah, little girls and little boys, maybe you did, or maybe your child did, or your grandkid, or your niece or your nephew, or a friend's child. Yeah. We'll go to whacking on our own hair sometimes, much to the dismay of the adults in our lives. But at the time of Summer's disappearance, she didn't have a pixie cut. She didn't have a shaped up, let's take what she's messed up back here or whatever, and we can do one of those where it's high and tight but long on top. No, Summer Moon Utah Wells had a bit of hair regrowth after having her head shaved down to the fucking scalp. We're not talking butch. We're not talking high and tight. We're not talking pixie. We're not talking style that up into what you can do the best with after what she has done to herself. We're talking motherfucking shaved down to the skin. And I have the picture to prove it. I'm not going to display it now because there are a number of viewers on my channel who are extremely triggered by that photograph of Summer Moon Utah Wells. taken most likely if one, just on average. Research will reveal to you that a child with proper nutrition safe environment, and by safe, I not only mean physically, but they actually feel safe around not only their family, but the people their family is dragging in like stray dogs. But on average, our hair grows with variations. That's why it's called a fucking average. About 1/4 of an inch a month. So, if that picture is the one and only time Summer Moon Utah Wells' head had been shaved down to her scalp, and then we fast forward to the last proof of life, which is the TikTok video at the swimming hole at Warriors Path State Park, not the milk jug video. I don't give a fuck what time of day or what day Candus motherfucking Blywell says that milk jug video photo was taken. What I know is that law enforcement says that the TikTok video at the swim hole is the last proof of life of Summer Wells, and it was shot at 12:33 p.m. on the 15th of June. So, there's that. Anyway, in either one of those, the TikTok video or the milk jug vid photo, Summer's hair is maybe 1/2 inch long, maybe a little longer. Okay, so her head was probably shaved if you back up the calendar. April, maybe? Or maybe even a little bit before that, because we have the photograph of Summer Wells and Robin Lane on Mother's Day, which is in May. And Summer has hair, a little bit. So, maybe the head shaving was in March or April. Well, it wouldn't have been because it was so fucking hot then, would it? Lice. Maybe? Really? Bed bugs? I don't know. Could be. If that is the case, why the fuck didn't anybody else that lives in the house have their head shaved at the same time? If Summer had head lice and her head was shaved because of head lice, why weren't the boys' heads shaved down to the nub? And why wasn't Candus and Don's head shaved down to the nub? And all of the stray dog human beings that they dragged in and out to give blowjobs to, or what the fuck ever they were doing with them. I don't know.
All electric, 500 Bellissimo. Bellissimo. This is what electric car's supposed to be. Wouldn't it be bull to never have more than 1 square foot of space to work with? That is now. Who tried to shave the head. Don's not very clear on this. First of all, he says she tried to shave her head, and then she, and he corrects himself or restarts and says, we decided to shave her head, and then she shaved her head. I don't have a clear picture here of what happened with shaving this head at all.
Neither do we, sir. Neither do we. Never a truer word, sir. I don't believe there's a single one of us, the viewing audience on my channel right now, or myself, that can make sense out of a motherfucking word that is right there on the screen right now, not including the display that I can't figure out how to get off of there. She was a tomboy. I shaved my head. She wanted to have her head shaved like me, and the boys did. Liar! You're a fucking liar, Candus Bly. Fuck you. Dawn. She tried to shave her head. She tried. Okay, I already went off the deep end yesterday, raising all kinds of cane over their motherfucking use of pronouns. I'd like to cooter punch the living shit out of both of these motherfuckers. Yeah, I said it. Cooter punch. If you've never had one, let me tell you something. It fucking hurts. She tried to shave her head. Okay. Summer tried to shave her own head. Is that what you're saying, Dawn? I think you can see it in some of the pictures. Oh, yeah, we can. I've already discussed that. And it was getting out of control. What was getting out of control? Her hair or her wanting to shave her own head? Which is getting out of control? Could you possibly be a bit more clear? Evidently fucking not, because it's been more than 3 years since Summer Moon Utah Wells disappeared, and we still have no fucking clarification. So I guess the answer to my question would be no. We can't be more clear, because we weren't clever enough to write a good script that would cover the unanticipated questions. So by this point, although we're still raw, and we haven't had the opportunity to polish up our story 13 days in, what was getting out of control, Dawn? Summer's hair or her shaving her own head? Fuck.
Was it Summer that tried to do it at age 5? That seems quite strange. Or we decided to shave her head. Well, he does say we, but he puts lots of she's in there as well. Who and why was this head shaved? Dawn says it didn't bother her. Well, why are you telling us that? Why are you telling us that this didn't bother her?
Why are you telling us it didn't bother, Dawn? Because you assumed that we would assume it fucking would. You were a bit anticipatory. You did think a little bit ahead on a few things. But we ain't into the meat of this part of this statement yet. I will not belabor the fucking pronoun use.
Potentially because it did bother her. That's further strengthened by him saying at this point. So it didn't bother her at this point. Was there a point where the shaved head bothered her? I think.
Was there a point at which the shaved head did bother her? If it didn't bother her at this point, and by the way, Dawn, when is at this point? It didn't bother Summer when you decided to shave her head off? We're going to get to that. Or it didn't bother Summer at the point that she disappeared? Or it didn't bother her at the point that you are discussed? At what fucking point, Don?
That could be true. I look at this description, I really didn't like this. She tried to shave her head. The words shave her head, we know what that means. It is to shave the hair off your head. That's what
Okay. Okay. And I know people are going to say, please, Miss Susan, quit pausing it. But I really, really, really want y'all to pay attention to what he is about to discuss in regards to when you shave her head, you're talking about shaving off her hair. Shaving off Summer's hair and shaving her head off are not the same thing. Do we have some leakage here of some sort? I'm going to back up. Hit play.
Bother her. Well, why are you telling us that? Why are you telling us that this didn't bother her? Is it potentially because it did bother her? That's further strengthened by him saying at this point. So it didn't bother her at this point. Was there a point where the shaved head bothered her? I think that could be true.
I do
I
too.
look at this description, I really didn't like this. She tried to shave her head. The words shave her head, we know what that means. It is to shave the hair
To shave
off
the hair
your head. That's
off
what
your
shave
head.
your head means. And then we decided to shave her head off. Not shave her hair off, which is what you'd expect, but shave her head off.
Not shave her hair off, which is what you would expect. No, we decided to shave her head off.
Now, removing someone's head, shaving someone's head off is very different from shaving their head, which means to remove the hair. Shave her head off is a bit more grisly, I think.
Yeah.
And it could be a misspeak. He could have said head instead of hair, but it's very interesting that he talks in, frankly, quite fatalistic terms about Summer's head there.
It is interesting that he speaks, he being Donald Wells, in somewhat fatalistic terms. Darlings, we are at 18 minutes and 13 seconds. If I don't shut up, we are never going to get through this. But because we have this gentleman's permission to do what we're doing, I'm going to keep doing it until we get to the end. Let's go on a little bit more.
Here's some more from them.
Well, I knew right away that she was abducted. You know, I knew that right away, and that's what I told them from the beginning. But they have to go through their, you know, I forget the word.
Investigation.
They have to do one step at a time, I guess. But I'm sorry that they had to spend so many man hours in these woods and everything. I've seen them limping and everything else, you know, and I feel for them. But I just wish there was a way that neighbors could search neighbors' houses, and then if they're not willing, you know, get a search warrant or something. But there's just no way you can search every single house, you know, in the eastern United States or whatever. But I wish there was a way.
So here we have Don talking, and once more we have this certainty. Well, we have sort of certainty. He says, we knew, and then he stops, and he restarts by saying, I knew right away that she was abducted. Why the change from we to I? Candus has said that she feels she's been abducted, so why is he just talking for himself there? He goes to talk for the pair of them, and then just goes to talk for himself. And again, there's no sense of how they knew. I knew right away she was abducted. You know, I knew that right away. He doesn't say how he knew right away. He doesn't say whether it was just a sense, an intuition, or whether there were...
And isn't that something that all of us here have wondered? If Donald Wells is telling the truth about his whereabouts on June the 15th of 2021 at the time of Summer Moon Utah Wells' disappearance, he was at work drywalling in the Meadows subdivision in Jonesboro, Tennessee, 32 to 45 minutes drive away, depending upon the route and the traffic, as well as weather. According to Don, as well as Candus, he was at work that distance away when he received the phone call from Candus that Summer is missing. Therefore, if both of them are telling the truth, and Don Wells was at work, then every fucking word that comes out of his mouth is nothing more than hearsay and has no import, no weight, but he does all the talking. Why is the person who was not there so fucking sure? I knew right away. I knew right away, immediately. He says it twice. I knew right away. I knew right away she was abducted. Really, motherfucker. Because according to FBI, according to FBI, Child Abduction Rapid Deployment Team, there are no signs, motherfucker, of abduction. How about that? I find it incredibly amazing that you two are so fucking sure you know what happened when one of you wasn't there. The other one turned her back for 2 minutes, according to her. And Summer Moon Utah Wells was either taken or lured away. Fuck both you motherfuckers. You're both fucking liars.
Was more to it, but he knew right away that she was abducted. And he talks about, I'm presuming he's talking about law enforcement here. That's what I told them from the beginning. It's important for him to say that from moment one, I knew she was abducted. And I have told them that from the beginning. I have been consistent with my story. Or I cannot
Okay, boom. I have been consistent with the story. That's why Don is saying things like, and that's what I told them from the beginning. Don is saying, I'm consistent with what I say. My story has never changed. Emphasis on story, Don. Although you do have variations. Because you too learned, especially Don, with the passage of time. And because you're carnival barkers, you're flim-flam artists, you were able to adjust your narrative based on what those of us out here wanted to know, made inquiries about, etc., etc., etc.
lying. I cannot be trying to deceive you. Straight away, I told them from the beginning she had been abducted. I'm getting a lot of certainty from these guys that they feel that the Summer was abducted. Why is that?
Why is
An interesting passage here. I'm sorry they've had to spend so many man hours in these woods and everything. I've seen them limping and everything else, and I feel for them. Now, that's a really strange way of feeling. There's no gratitude for these guys that are in the...
Bingo. It's a very strange way of feeling. I mean, naturally, you're going to feel, I would assume. I don't know. I've never had a missing child. But I would like to think, although I can't be sure because I haven't experienced this, but I would like to think that what I would be expressing here is thank you. I hate that these people, these men, these women are having to go through so much hardship because my wife is so motherfucking irresponsible. Why has he never questioned Candus? Maybe he has privately, behind closed doors, in the quiet of the evening, when there are no children around at all. But I'm not sorry that they spent so many man hours in these woods. As a matter of fact, as far as I'm concerned, they should have spent more. And they maybe would not have been limping and everything else if they had been in the proper physical condition to be volunteers on a rescue squad.
Woods looking for Summer, which you would expect. Why are you sorry? To be sorry, you have some responsibility for what's happened.
Exactly. That's why I said, why isn't he saying, I'm sorry that they had to spend so many man hours in these woods because my wife is so motherfucking irresponsible?
Or do you know for a fact that they're in these woods and they're not going to find anything and this is futile? Is that why you're sorry for them? But why are you not grateful that they are in the woods? I've seen them limping and everything else. I feel for him. Now, listen. So far in this interview, we've had no empathy for Summer's situation
Resolution. Hey, baby.
It will come later, but before they've described any empathy, scare for Summer's situation, concern for Summer, because she's been abducted in their heads. They're telling us she's been abducted. He's got sympathy for these people searching for Summer in the woods.
And we're going to end there today at 21 minutes and 17 seconds. In Never a Truer Words intro, there were 3 things, bullet points, tenses of the verbs, hidden elements in the events, the timeline, holes, and level of concern for Summer. Where was that concern? And I'm not talking about, darlings, I need a cigarette, okay? And we're getting close to saying goodbye. Unless I decide to jack my jaws a bunch. Yes, all right. Baby, I don't know if I'm supposed to call you RAS or if it's RAS. Can you clarify for me? RAS like last. Okay, darling, thank you. All these years, now I sound like Jody Sue Brown. In 3 years, RAS, you and I have encountered one another across the board here on YouTube in different chat rooms. And I've never known if RAS was an acronym for something or if I was supposed to call you RAS. So, reasonable, articulable suspicion is what, hey, reasonable, articulable suspicion. Teresa Nelson! I missed a time. Teresa. Hi. It's good to see you. So, Huggy back. A new cigarette. So, hang on. We're going to do a little maneuver in here before we say goodbye. And good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, we'll pick up where we left off tomorrow. I try to wait until after Brooks on Crime Lines and Lies finishes her live stream. I try not to step on my friends' lives, but as my regular viewers know, because of my lifestyle, I have to go live when I can go live. The moderators here don't even know when I'm going live. So, oh, y'all, it's hot. But, okay, what I was going to say about the concern thing. Let me light up. Let me light up. Sorry, I didn't pay attention to the angle of the dangle on the camera. Gee, Willikers got you staring at the ceiling of the front porch with the ceiling fan going. Okay. Kids, when it comes to the concern, I'm not looking for or talking about throwing yourself down on the ground, Candus, throwing a hissy fit. I'm not talking about sitting and bawling your eyeballs out every time you're cammed up talking about Summer Wells, your daughter. Not mine. But I'm the one here talking about her, not you. I find that interesting as well, considering you have a number of your own YouTube channels. Seems to me you would be able to speak of your own daughter much more fluently than I, an old woman in Arkansas who's never met you or your children. When Summer's found, if she's still alive, I would love the opportunity to meet her. But I don't think I could stand the stench of Don or Candus, so I don't want to meet them. No, when it comes to concern, we just heard Donald Wells express more concern over the searchers than he did the person they were searching for. I rest my case. Why would you look for something when you know where it is? Now, babies, you're going to hear heavy equipment. There's a lot going on in the work that's been going on over here with the trail and the parking lot, and there's more going on today. So I'm trying to see your chat. Searchers is a tidbit you will never forget, Ras. You mean that part about Don? You mean that part, honey, expressly, Ras, where Don is expressing concern for the searchers? Oh, yes, yes. Are you talking? Okay, the letter that she wrote, or when she took Ansley Daniels reporter's pad and wrote instead of yeah. She didn't even speak to Ansley. She wrote that. I wish we had something new. At least we have a channel, at least that's new to me. We have a different perspective from someone that is unfamiliar. Here again, at least to me. I'm not going to cry. My tears won't bring Summer to safety. My tears serve no purpose other than to vent my own feelings for her. Her is Summer Moon Utah Wells. And she disappeared sometime in the early afternoon hours of June the 15th of 2021. She has blonde hair and blue eyes. If she's still alive, she's 8 years old now. It's reported that she was wearing a pink shirt and gray pants and was most likely barefooted at the time of her disappearance. And according to Leslie Earhart, who, at least at the time, was the public information officer from TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. The TBI, not the feds, Jody Sue. TBI are not the feds. I don't know what the fuck is up with that shit. Nonetheless, the FBI are the feds. TBI is investigating the circumstances leading up to Summer's disappearance. That's a direct motherfucking quote for those of you who don't know. The circumstances leading up to Summer's disappearance, Jody. Nonetheless, by most standards, especially to someone like me, who actually has been a television news director, field reporter, investigative reporter, and I've had 3 television talk shows that were all based on interviewing people and like pumping them for fucking information, very cleverly, by the way, as well as being responsible for the taking of and then the transcribing of official police statements from victims as well as perpetrators. When you actually work news instead of you're just some fucking bum with a channel on YouTube, you know that the early afternoon hours, if you're talking about news, is between 1:30 and 3:30 in the afternoon. Yet the 911 calls weren't made until 6:23 and 6:26 p.m. I wonder where TBI got the idea that Summer disappeared in the early afternoon hours, because TBI knows when the 911 calls came in. It's interesting, I think, that TBI would reveal that. And leave it to us to read between the lines. And that's exactly what they did. And those of us who understand and have that kind of discernment fucking know that. There's a reason Leslie Earhart said early afternoon hours, because she knew we would know when the 911 calls were made. Hi, Miss Justice. Baby, I'm fixing to end it. So, so, every day, y'all, one reason I think of summer every day is the vehicle that just went by my house. I've been friends with that man. My husband and I have been friends with that man. He works right up the road here. He drives by here a number of times a day in the line of his duties, his work duties. And I can't see him and not think about Summer Wells. You know why? He drives a 2000 maroon Toyota with black ladder racks on it. He sure does. Heber Springs, Arkansas. They're everywhere. They are everywhere. He's had that truck as long as I've known him, and that's been about 20 years. And he drives up and down the road, and I'm outside more than I'm inside. And I never see my friend that I don't think about that fucking red truck. So I couldn't get away from Summer Moon Utah Wells even if I wanted to. And I don't. I want her found. I want her to have justice, regardless of what happened. If she wandered away in those few moments, if that's true, see, we don't even, how can we base our opinions and our hypotheses trying to think what might have happened when we can't be sure on any level that the statements given by the parents are factual? We can't. And so we wear a rut in our own brains with circular thinking. Well, for summer, I'm willing to wear a rut in my brain. And thank you that every one of you is as well. So, like I said, hopefully tomorrow, good Lord willing, creek don't rise and Rags doesn't wrap a leash around my legs. We'll continue this discussion until we get through this gentleman's video and his statement analysis of Donald Wells and Candus Bly Wells, the parents of missing Summer Moon Utah Wells. Many may think that this is a fruitless statement, but my heart compels me to say if you or anyone you know has any credible information regarding the disappearance or the whereabouts of Summerman Utah Wells, please, for God's sake, for Summer, call 1-800-TBI-FIND and tell them what you know. Tell them the truth. Tell them the truth. For Summer. I gotta sing you out. Because that's what I do. And I think I'm gonna get some drapes to put on that window. When you tune in tomorrow, there will be some dark drapes on that window to cut down on this glare on the screen. So let me sing you out and we'll say goodbye. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Wait, I got to doll up a little bit. I got to turn the lights on. Oh, that light is on. I need this one. I got to doll up a little bit. I got to get my I Dream a Genie hair going on. And I think I thought of a song while I was stalling. I know I did. So here we go. I think. Hi in the dark. Hi Jen R. Babies, if I missed you in chat, I hate it. So here we go. You're just too good to be true. I can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. And I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived. And I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. I can't take my eyes off of you. Pardon the way that I stare, but there's nothing else to compare. The sight of you leaves me weak, and there are no words left to speak. So if you feel like I feel, please let me know that it's real. 'Cause you're just too good to be true. I can't take my eyes off of you. Da da ba da 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 da. I love you, baby, and if it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to warm the lonely night. I love you, babies. Trust in me when I say, oh, pretty babies, now that I found you, stay. Oh, pretty baby, don't ever go away, and let me love you, babies. Let me love you. because you're just too good to be true. And I can't take my eyes off of you. What do I mean? I can't even see you. Okay, never mind. All right, guys, here it comes. That closing spiel, the outro. Go do something good and positive with the rest of your day. Put into practice being kind to one another in word and deed. It ain't going to hurt you. It's not going to cost you anything. It's going to come back to you in the form of karma or a blessing, depending how you choose to look at things. And it's going to come when you expect it the least and you need it the most, isn't it? How about that? So, you don't have to go home, but you need to get your lazy asses up off of YouTube and go do something. All right? Do something. Just fucking do something. Anything. Don't do anything, but do something. All right. See you next time. Hopefully tomorrow. Go sub up, or at least think about it. Never a truer word. Bye. Whoa, pretty baby, now that I found you, stay.